Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear brothers and sisters, welcome to our Spiritual Insight program. We daily broadcast this program from London and from Kenya with brother Sheikh Jafar Imran, who is currently studying the PhD. Firstly, I would like to send my condolences to brother Jafar, to yourself and our dear viewers on the Zarbat of Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam, as this is a sad day for all the Mu'mineen Mu'minat that are out there. Welcome to the program, Brother Jafar.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Brother Faizul Hassan and our dear viewers. I hope you had a fantastic day. You did your amal and may Allah accept your amal of Laylatul Qadr, which we did it yesterday.
Welcome, Brother Jafar. Thank you. So I would like to start with introducing the programs, the topics we will discuss today together. The first aspect that I would like to discuss about the Laylatul Qadr, we wanted to continue on that. Maybe not in the same order, but these are things we will touch. On Ramadan, Laylatul Qadr, Salat, a controversial issue today. We wanted to finish off on the culture and religious issues, cultural baggage and cultural religious issues. And also today our new topic would be about an ikhlaqi topic, which is about the homosexuality. What's happening in the Islamic community? Why? What do Muslims have a take on this? And how Muslims in the West, where this is something normal, how should they be behaving? How should they be reacting? How should they be understanding this thing? So these are the issues that we will touch on. And if there's anything else you have in your mind, please do share it with myself and the dear viewers. It seems like hopefully yesterday's ibadat was fruitful for you, and inshallah your ibadat is accepted in the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We all prayed last night. I was with my family, praying with my children and wife. After the majlis of Amir al-Mu'mineen, we went back home, and we personally did our own amals together as a family. I don't know how you did your amal, but I was not in the mosque after the majlis of Amir al-Mu'mineen.
No, on my side, I didn't participate in the mosque because the distance between the mosque and where I reside right now, it's very far. So I decided just me and my two brothers just to do it in the mosque, in the prayer room, where in the hotel where I reside right now. Yeah.
MashaAllah, alhamdulillah. So Brother Jafar, I would like to start.
Yes. Can we finish about the topics that we left them out, or should we start about the issue of homosexuality?
No, let's finish off with the topics that we left, and I wanted to mention a bit about Laylatul Qadr as well. So do you want to start with Laylatul Qadr?
So I don't know what can I mention about Laylatul Qadr. Maybe you start, then I will continue, because a lot of things are in my mind about Laylatul Qadr. Yeah.
Yes, there's a few things I wanted to share. You mentioned last time about Laylatul Qadr that the effect of Laylatul Qadr is also till the next day as well. So yes. and that is something I checked as well. So I can confirm to the viewers that I've also checked in the hadith of Ayatullah that the ibadah that you do in Laylatul Qadr, you can also get the same sawab on the day as well. But the condition is that you honor the Laylatul Qadr. So the honor has to be from Laylatul Qadr, and then it is as though whatever amal you do in the day and you ask prayers, you continue that fervor, you continue that honor, you can continue that respect and the same attitude as you had for the night in the day as well. So try not to sleep too much, try to stay awake and pray and make salat and do a lot of prayers. Now we've got the remaining 2 other nights left, the 21st and the 23rd. And from hadith and narrations, the 23rd is the most important night. But we shouldn't just consider 23rd as the only night. According to our Ulema, our Urfa, the mystics, and the hadith and narrations that we have from Ayatullah, it is that it starts on the 19th and it continues. By the 23rd, your destiny has been written or is being written. On the 19th, it's
Yes.
been proposed. On the 21st, it's been endorsed. And on the 23rd, it's
Yes.
been sealed. So these 3 nights are very important. And the file, so you can say we all have a file, for example, a file. And this file is brought to the leader of the time. So the spiritual leader, whoever he is, which we believe is our Imam Zaman alayhi salam, he is the one who will then endorse. He will give the final seal for the next year of what will happen to us. So it is very important that we do tawassul. And as I said to you, brother Jafar, I want to talk about tawassul.
Yeah,
we need to understand that Laylatul Qadr means the night of destiny. What does it mean by destiny? That our destinies are being designed, are being destined for us. For example, how much food we will get, how much health we will get, how much sickness we will get, how much whatever will happen in the next year, it's being decided. So like we make a budget, you know, there's a monthly budget that's meant for the whole year. Countries make a budget for the whole year. It's similar to this. A whole year plan is being organized according to our previous actions and the actions that we will do in the future. So that's why these nights are very important. And so each night has a significant role to play. The 19th has a significant role to play. The 21st night has a significant role to play. And the night of 23rd also has a significant role to play. And not only that, even after the 23rd, the other odd nights that we have, like the 27th night, is also a special night. Why? Because, for example, if something has been destined for you that might not be in your, let's say, favor, it's not in your interest. Maybe in the next year, it is written that you might die. It's just an extreme example. Or there might be an accident happening in your life. Then on the 27th, you still have a chance to have it removed on the Lohi Mahfuz, let's say, or in the wherever this is decided on in the Book of Destiny. You can still have it rubbed, and a new interpretation, a new pathway can be written. So this is where we have to make sure that in these nights we prepare ourselves for our destinies. And another thing, Brother Jafar, I would like to say to you is that, and to dear viewers, a lot of our ulama, a lot of our sheikhs, a lot of our mystic leaders that have gone towards the direction of Irfan, they start their projects and they end their projects in these nights. So the ibtida, the start, is from these nights, and the ending is also in these nights. And I've also heard that a lot of mu'mineen, mu'minat that are religious, they start their prayer, they're reading the Quran in the Mah Shaban, so that they complete the whole Quran by these nights, so that then they can reward it to one of the Masumin, and they can gift it to one of the Masumin and take the reward for it. Because in these nights, the reward is multifold. It's 100 times, 1,000 times more than any other odd nights or any other day. So that's why it is very recommended that if you want to start a new project, start it in this night. If you want to end a project, try to end it in this night, so that you get the swab 1,000 times more than you would have got on a normal circumstances. Yes, brother.
Well, just to mention is that most of my relatives are Sunni. So what we were hearing when I was in madrasa here in Kenya or Tanzania, madrasa is an Islamic, Sunday school. It's like Sunday school. You only go there for religious studies. So what we are being told by our Sheikh or by our studies, that the night of Qadr, the Laylatul Qadr, the night of destiny, falls under the 10 last days, 10 last nights of the month of Ramadan. While we as Shias, we only from the narrations that we got from Ayima alayhi salatu wassalam, it's only 3 nights: the night of 19th, 21st, and 23rd. So may it be 10 the 10 days that you are talking about, or the 3 days that our imams mentioned. I have a question. Why has Allah subhanahu, because the main Laylatul Qadr is only one night. It's either the 19th or the 20th or the 21st. So just a question one person asked me, why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hid that one night in these 3 nights. Why a person did come specifically and tell us, you know what, the night of power, the night of destiny, the night of Qadr is on 21st, and it's done. It's on 23rd, and it's done. Why is it so? Why should we do Amal for 3 nights? Then it's only one, which is one Laylatul Qadr. Are we really going to? That is the first question. Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decided to hide the Laylatul Qadr in that one? So the second question comes: will Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward us for standing for those 3 nights, or He will only accept our amal in that one night that it is in His hands? He knows, but we don't know. What would be the answer?
So, knowing, as far as the understanding I have of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's a generous, merciful, kind creator. So, for example, if someone misses the 23rd night, but is sincere and does ibadah on the 21st, the 19th, but misses the 23rd, but for whatever reasons, having a good thinking about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us the impression that He will still write His destiny on that day. But the destiny that He writes for us, it's not as if it's black and white, that's it. There's always sub kind of routes available. So for example, it might say, Brother Jafar, the next year it's been destined for you now that you will, on the Laylatul Qadr night, that you will earn, for example, this much money. For example, I'm just giving an example.
Yeah.
Okay? But because, say you missed that night of destiny where this was destined for you, but that thing that has been decided is not 100% decided for you yet. It's been decided, yes, that this is the thing that we are planning, but maybe in one of those special 10 nights you do something really great, that then the other category applies as well. So there might be a subcategory that says, okay, we give him 20,000, but if he does something good in these following nights, we'll give him 40,000. It's just an example I'm giving. So that's why Allah Ta'ala subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't want us to just fix on one night and just focus on that, because we might miss that night, and then we say, oh, I just give up now, I have nothing else to do, now I missed the night. So Allah kept that hope open for us, that even if you miss that, you still have other nights that will compensate for you, even though my decision is coming this, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at the end of the day knows everything. He knows the paths we will take. He knows from 1,000 paths, which paths we will most likely take. And then He will make the decisions for us based on this. Because at the end of the day, He is our Rabb. He is our Creator. He knows what is best for us. And according to that, He's making those decisions.
Yes. I have, Alhamdulillah, the answer is very good, elaborated it very well. So I don't have anything to add on that. But just a little reminder to myself and to our dear viewers is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He decided to hide that night for us not to take the other nights lightly. Let me just give an example. I was in the mosque of, I can't even lie, I was in the mosque of Hodjas in Jafar Islamic Center in Ghravi. It was during Muharram. So, you know, young kids, the youths, they really love the Azadari, the Sinezani, the Lakmiya, the Sara people call it. They really love it. So they don't attend the speech. They don't attend the khutbah of the Moulana. They only wait for that time. If that thing could be hidden, that no one knows when Maulana will finish his khutbah, no one knows, maybe in between the Maulana speech, he can start the Azadari. So people could stay there and attend carefully to the speech. But no, people, they stay outside till when it is done, then they come in, oh, we want to do the Azadari. So if that thing is specified, people will take lightly the preliminaries of that very night. People will just, be eating and or be backbiting or be doing anything negative just for that. Inshallah, on 21st, it is the night of power, it is the night of destiny. I will sit down and repent. No worries, I will do it. So, for us not to take things lightly, for us not to take Allah's mercy lightly, for us not to take Allah's punishment lightly, that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decided to hide it. In one of the narrations, just to complete, brother, sorry. In one of the narrations, the Holy Prophet or the Imam, they are telling us we shouldn't take lightly anything, may it be good, may it be bad. We can't say that, Right now, let me just take a bottle of beer, not you, not our dear viewers, someone else. You just say, let me take one cup of beer. Allah Subhanahu wa Taala will punish me. It is very small. Maybe Allah's anger or Allah's punishment is in that one glass that somebody has taken. Oh, okay. Before that, I even drank one crate, but Allah's punishment, Allah's anger was not into that. You drank or somebody drank and decided to repent. But you telling yourself or me telling myself that it's just one glass. Let me just take this one. Then Allah Subhanahu wa Taala will forgive me. Maybe Allah's anger could be after that, after taking that one glass, and Allah, my whole life will change. If maybe just giving out sadaqah, no, bro. Yesterday I gave out $500. Why should I pay this one $10 that is remaining in my pocket? Maybe the 500 that you paid yesterday, it was not sincere. So you shouldn't just keep the money in your pocket saying it is very little. Maybe Allah's happiness, it is there. Allah's blessing, is there. So you should also give up. So we shouldn't take Allah's anger very lightly, and on the other side, we shouldn't take Allah's blessing very lightly. That's why in this Laylatul Qadr, Allah Subhanahu wa Taala decided to hide it in these three nights. So we don't know whether it is 23rd, we don't know whether it is 21st, or we don't know whether it is 19th. We should try our level best not to abandon the night, or not to leave out anything that we could do it, or to grab Allah's attention and Allah's mercy.
That's right, Brother Jafar. This is very true. That one of those nights have been kept as a secret, so that this very reason is also one of those reasons. Another reason, Brother Jafar, I just wanted to add is that Laylatul Qadr. We have the Surah Qadr, and we say this is related to Her Holiness Hazrat Fatima alayhi salam. The Layl means Hazrat Fatima, Lady Fatima, and the Qadr means Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ. What would you know about this the night of destiny? So, and therefore, which now brings us nicely into this tawassul part, that to get to Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, to reach Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, He has given us a pathway, a wasila. We call that a wasila. And until we do not follow that wasila, we will never get to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Just like Iblis Mal'oon, he wanted to worship Allah according to his way. And his thought was that I only pray to you, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. I will only do sajda to you. And I won't do anything else. This is how I pray to you. But Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala said, no, if you want to worship me, you have to bow down in front of Adam. You have to prostrate in front of Adam. And that prostration wasn't to Adam. Adam was just the Qibla. So he had to just prostrate in that direction. But he didn't understand that. He didn't understand that Adam is just a Qibla, is a wasila for the worship to go ahead. And the same concept applies with our brothers, our Ahl Sunnah brothers. Not all of them, but those that are the rejectors of wasila. Wasila means even when you raise your hands for dua, you raise your hands. This hands is a wasila of making dua. For example, unfortunately, the stupidity of some Muslim brothers and sisters is that they, even in our own Shia community, we have these type of people. I only want to ask Allah. Yes, you only have one Allah. There is only one Allah. There is no other Allah, and you cannot make anyone his partner. But how you get to Allah is another story. How you pray to Allah is another story. If you did not have this body, how would you do sujood? How would you do ruku? How would you raise your hands? These are all wasilas to do all those things. And there are different degrees of wasila. So this night of destiny is a secret night. And we were discussing about why this is hidden. There's a secret behind this. And I want this, Brother Jafar, maybe, I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but I'm sure you might be aware of this, that we don't know the grave of our Holy Lady. We do not know exactly when she was shaheed and when she was born. The dates are all majhul for us. They are unknown. We have an idea. For example, it's maybe on the of Jamadil Ula or Jamadil Sani, but and we commemorate 20 days. We may commemorate 20 days of her shahada. So why? And again, Laylatul Qadr is also like this. If you see the pattern, we don't know the exact date. We just told that maybe it's this, recommended to do the 23rd or the 21st or the 19th. It's one of them, but most likely it's that day. Because the connection is with this holy lady. This is where the connection is. So all our dear brothers that are watching this program, that when you do the Laylatul Qadr Amal, always try to take the wasila of this holy lady. There's a secret behind this. And there's more explanation behind this, but I can't get into this with the limited time that we have. There are lectures, there are books written about Laylatul Qadr and the night of destiny and the Inna Anzalna, what it means, the connection. All of this has deep meanings behind this. But I just wanted to highlight this to our dear viewers that in this night you have to take wasila, and also you must know that your file goes to the time of your Imam, the hujjat of this time. In the Quran, we are never without a hujjat, a guidance, a guide. And if there was no guide, this world will destroy itself, will be finished. So there always has to be a hujjah of Allah in this world, in this universe, in this dimension. And therefore, if He is the one who is deciding our fate, He is the one who's giving the final signature that yes, this paravande, this file is how it should be, then we need to be also connecting with those wasilas. And if we do not connect with those wasilas, then how will we get a recommendation of changing our destiny? Do not think that the 12 imams that we have were weak. Just because they were mazloom does not mean that they were weak. They have a lot of power. This was just their imtihan in this dunya. But spiritually, they are the masters of this world and of the akhirah. Allah has given His powers, not that they are in partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But just like Hazrat Isa was able to make the dead alive, how did He do that? By the izn of Allah. It was by the izn of Allah. So they have all the izns of Allah inside them. They are the wasi of Rasulullah. And Rasulullah is one of those great prophets. Ulul Azam. What does that mean? The one that He controls. He has the greatest will. His will is powerful than any other thing in this world. That's why we call them Ulul Azam. They have the great will in them. And therefore we must remember our Imam. We should pray for him as well in this night. We should also ask him to be the intercessor between us and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for what Allah is deciding for our destinies. Because at the end of the day, He will be the one who will sign it off to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And therefore, I would ask our dear brothers and sisters to make sure that you do not forget your Imam of your time, and also do not forget Holy Lady Hazrat Fatima alayhi salam. There's a big connection with these great personalities. Anything you want to add, Brother Jafar, on this?
This about the issue of tawassul, I think we need a 1 hour time just to discuss about the issue of tawassul. You know, the narrations that the other people have, the narrations that we have, which narration is correct. But right now we are just trying to give out summary for our viewers to understand that tawassul is there. And tawassul, let me say this, tawassul is there in our daily life. If, let me say, a child at home, alhamdulillah, we are all parents. If a child at home has distracted you, you want to punish that child. You want to punish that, your son or daughter. She or he will run behind the mother, telling the mother, "Oh, mom, tell dad not to beat me." The child there is doing what? The child there is doing tawassul to the mother, for the father not to beat him or her. Then the mother will stand there, you know what, Baba Fulani, don't do that, Baba Fulani, don't do that, and don't do this and that. On the other side, we know that knowledge comes from whom? The knowledge and wisdom come from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But we go to school. Why can't we just sit down and read for ourselves? We go there, it's kind of tawassul. We are doing tawassul, we are using whatever the capability, our lecturers, our teachers have. Whatever they are saying, it's not new to us. Because It is just a path for us to reach to the top, for us to reach for us to reach the goal to understand Allah Subhanahu wa Taala and to worship Him. Whenever we are told that, you know what, in Quran this and this and this is the narration or is the interpretation of this verse, you will feel that this thing is not new. But this person was just sent by Allah Subhanahu wa Taala for me to pass through this person and reach there and reach up there. That's why when the Holy Prophet came, he just said, Allah Subhanahu wa Taala was just telling him, "Fadakir." Make sure people are aware of that. You know, remember people, tell people, because it is there in our hearts. So we use we use a medium that we have to reach to the other side. When you want to be with your child, she runs or he runs behind the mother. When the child asks you for money, it's not that you are the richest person. Allah Subhanahu wa Taala gave it to you. And when you don't have, you just ask Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, my daughter is ill. Kindly just make a way for me to take her to him to the hospital. When you bring the money, the daughter will think that you are the provider. That's why in one of the narrations we are told, if our kids need anything, we should provide to them. We shouldn't be harsh on them. Why? Because in that tender age they think we are Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. We are the providers. But no, we are not the providers. They just do tawassul to us for us to ask Allah Subhanahu wa Taala to bless us or to give us anything. So what tawassul is there in our daily life, starting from the tender age till when you get old. But we don't really understand it. So inshallah, in the other day, inshallah, maybe after Ramadan, if we get time, 1 hour we'll be just talking about the issue of tawassul, for people to understand, for the other people also to understand what is the meaning of tawassul. And tawassul in this life, are we not saying bi Muhammadin, bi Ali 10 times, bi Fatima, bi Fatima? Why are we mentioning those names? By Fatima, by Ali, by this, by this. Why are we mentioning this? Because we are taking them as wasil. Oh Allah, I'm asking you by the name of Fatima, give me this and this. We can ask Allah Subhanahu wa Taala and He will provide. But if we ask Allah through our imas, we are sure that Allah Subhanahu wa Taala is going to answer us.
Yes, Brother Jafar. Alhamdulillah, I was speaking to my spiritual guide, and I was asking about just to have a look at me. So I just wanted to share this with you. So he says that he sees. I asked him. I did the amal, and what are the effects of the amal? So he says there's a white aura around me now, and there was this darkness that's a bit away now from me. So Alhamdulillah, is quite happy with this news. I just wanted to share it with you. That mystic that we have that is guiding us, he can see that these amal do have an effect. They do have an effect. They bring positivity inside us. They bring a positive energy inside us. They change our attitude. And so, dear viewers, if you are interested in these spiritual kind of discussions that we have, as I said, the number has been provided on WhatsApp, so you can contact us by that number, and we can help you with the spiritual path that if you do want to tread this path. And the Night of Destiny is very powerful. It's very, very, very powerful, and it helps people change their destiny. So therefore, use this tool that we have, this wasila, the greatest ni'mah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us is this wasila. And by using their intercession, we can achieve a lot of things. But the problem is, and I'm not going to go more into this because this is a whole, as you said, Brother Jafar, you're very true and right about that. This is, in itself, is a big topic where we at some point we should address this. This is another controversial topic actually, where some say this is bid'ah, this is haram, this is shirk, this is that, and you know, all these kind of things. So, but we will discuss that later. But at the moment, we just want to touch on this because these are special nights, and I believe that us Muslims should intercede and take a powerful person who is spiritually more closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as a wasila to say, please pray for me as well. Ask for my thing as well, because you're more closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I'm still humble, and you know, you have to make yourself humble and feel, you should feel low yourself and feel as though that I'm so far away from Allah and I need other people to help me as well. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala likes humility. He likes his humble servants being humble and not being proud of thinking that they are spiritually high or something like this. So this is something which is looked greatly as ethically as a very good stance.
Mm.
So moving on, Brother Jafar, is there anything that you want to add on to this,
Yes.
or shall we move on to the next part?
No, brother. I don't have anything to add. We can just go to the issue, the second topic of culture versus Islam. We wind up with that, then we go to the homosexuality part.
Yes. So, dear brothers and sisters, we were discussing about culture, and we touched on a lot of aspects of culture itself. For example, where culture is good, where culture is bad. And I can give you another example. For example, Brother Jafar, just remind me, in when Nowruz comes in Iran, the calendar of the Iranian calendar, they have a day called the Day of Tabiat. So all Iranians go out
Yes.
and they enjoy the weather. What's the name of that day? Do you recall?
That day, that day,
Sees that
you don't want me to go. You don't. I can feel that you don't want me to go back to Iran. Hmm? With your question, I can feel that you don't want me to go back to Iran. So just briefly, on this day they call it what 13th Farvardin, the 13th of their first month, which is maybe you can say, just say January, the 13th of their January or of their Farvardin. They call it, it's Sister Bedar. That was it. Meaning you shouldn't sleep inside the house. It's like they take it as like Laylatul Qadr or the night of destiny, whereby they say if you will sleep in the house the whole of that day, that work that you will do on that day specifically affect your whole year activities. So if that day you will find you sleeping, then the whole year you will have your whole year, maybe 3/4 of your year you'll be just asleep. You won't benefit anything from the year. So that's why they decided to change the name of Siddabedar. Siddabedar, it means 13th of outside outdoor. Let me say 13th outdoor. On 13th day you have to be outside. So they take it as a very bad day that we shouldn't sit inside. Maybe the house can fall on us, or we should go outside. We shouldn't sleep. Then they change it. They decided to call it what? Ruze Tabiat, the nature day. So nature day. There is no nature day that you can spend it inside the house. That's why you go out. You go outside and spend the day outside. You see. But this is the weather issue that it has that history. Even when I went to Tehran, in some of the houses, they put the house number. In Kenya, we don't have that. Yeah, in Tanzania, yes, I saw some of the houses they have number. Like some of the houses, if your house is number 13, you don't write 13. You write 12 plus 1 or 14 minus 1. You don't write 13 because they take 13 as a bad number. So that is the issue of Siddhamidar. It is there in their culture. Yeah, it was there, but it's not a good thing actually. But they changed it for our mullahs to accept. They decided to call it Ruze Tabiat. That is Iran.
Yes. So this is the example I want to use. So this was a khurafa. This was a khurafa in Iran where they had the superstition that if they stayed in the house, some bad omen, some bad thing will happen to them, and they would all stay outside. But this was a khurafa. In Islam, there's no such thing like this. So what our ulama did is they changed the culture into Day of Nature. They said you go out and enjoy the weather, the nature, the trees, the plants, and they plant trees there as well. So you can see how you can change a mindset, a culture from a bad khurafa, a superstition, into something of something to enjoy and cherish and do something outside. And therefore, on the 13th, people plant trees. They grow trees. They go to nature. They go to park. And these are things. And I've seen Rapper as well plant a tree. Usually plants a tree on this day as well. So this is how culture affects. If we start believing in culture, we start believing in superstition, and we limit ourselves from doing good things. And that's where the negative effects are of culture itself. So again, I think we've got a lot of some messages coming from our viewers. They want to know their spirituality. They want to know what's really going on. And so I can answer this near the end of the program. So dear brothers and sisters, if you are interested in these interesting talks that me and Brother Jafar have, and the way we deal with our life. So many issues that we have in our life, brothers and sisters, we're very simple people. We do istikharas. We ask spiritual guides of should we go in this business transaction, should we not go in this business transaction. Brother Jafar is a witness. He's been with me most of my life in Iran, and I've been with him, and we've traveled together, we've ate together, we've lived in the same house, we've done a lot of stuff. So our lives are based around the Quran and based on sorting our lives according to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants. And therefore, any transactions in our lives that happens, we always want to get a spiritual perspective on that. And Brother Jafar can also, he can share that part. But this is not our topic. This is just because our program is called Spiritual Insight. Therefore, we ask individuals to share their experiences and things that they want to learn from this platform. Now, coming back to our topic, Brother Jafar. So culture has such an impact.
So we are only remaining with 16 minutes. So please let's talk about this issue of homosexuality. If we're not done today, inshallah, we're going to continue this with it tomorrow.
That's right. So, Brother Jafar, I will introduce it today, and tomorrow we'll discuss it further.
Okay, no problem.
In the modern age, this is the age that we're living in now, Brother John. So in this modern age, the world has seen a new phenomena that the previous generations never saw. It is as though the Quran is alive. And it is as though we are during the time of Hazrat Ibrahim and his nephew Hazrat Lut alayhi salam. And again, we are facing the same kind of scenario. What is the same scenario? The people of Lut, the problem that they were inflicted with. Now this whole global village is now under its influence. What is it? How do we escape it? Or how do we accept it? How do we navigate ourselves in this day and age? In this day and age of this type of culture that we are now facing. So this is a cultural issue which has now become something part of our living, where we have to accept it. Not everyone has to accept it, but a lot of countries have accepted it. They made laws, they made rules. For example, same gender marriages, they've legalized it, and this is it's a totally new culture that has been installed into our society, and this was never done before. So just like Hazrat Lut alayhi salam says in the Quran that you do something that no other generations have done previously, what we can say now here is this is a new culture that has never been seen in any society before, that has now been given to the world to accept and to follow it as well. But now the question is, why? Why do some individuals have these tendencies? Why, if someone does have this tendency, is he a Muslim or a non-Muslim? Should we still consider him as a Muslim, as someone who believes in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Or is he no longer then a Muslim, he's a kafir, for example? These are some controversial questions we have to ask. And also, you might see on YouTube, there's a clip going on of a new Scottish minister, Hamza Yusuf, has been appointed as the minister of Scotland, and he was doing an interview on Sky News. So on Sky News, the anchor asks him, the news reporter asks him, do you believe homosexuality to be a sin? So the poor guy, I think he says it by mistake. He probably should have said it, he should have worded it properly, but he says, no, he doesn't think homosexuality is a sin. And so although his name is Hamza Yusuf, we can tell that he's a Muslim, he follows the Deen of Islam, and while following the Deen of Islam, he's saying that homosexuality is not a sin. So he was answering the reporter, and this clip is now gone viral on the social media itself, on YouTube as well, where they are condemning him, being, how can you be a Muslim and you are thinking that this is not a sin? So I thought this is now the most appropriate time to talk about this controversial issue. This program is for Muslims. So Muslims that are watching, if you are a non-Muslim, you can continue watching it, but the context is for Muslims, because Muslims have a certain rule, have a certain culture, have such a regulation that they are following, and because of these regulations, we are discussing homosexuality. You might not agree with our thinking, but you're most welcome to watch the program. There's no issue about this, but keep in context that these rules only apply to Muslims. Do not take it personally. Therefore, because I'm sure maybe non-Muslims are watching this program and they might take it personally. Personally, that, oh, we are going against it. No. You are free to do whatever you want. No one objects to that. It is only that someone who follows Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, his creator, and follows the religion of Islam, we are discussing with those individuals what we mean by homosexuality and what it means in the religion of Islam and how we should approach it, how should we deal it, and how an individual being should be seen in society as a Muslim. So these are the issues that we want to discuss. Now, the first question, as I said, Brother Jafar, is this. How does one become a homosexual? Yes, brother.
I also have a question. I also have a question to ask our dear viewers. I can ask them because you just mentioned that this program it's a Muslim program. So if non-Muslim is listening to us, then this the whole of this issue does not concern him or her, because here we are talking about those controversial issue, and we give out answers based on Islamic on Islamic view. So one of the question is that if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created homosexuality, why will he still punish the homosexual people on the day of judgment? Why? That is the first question. Second thing, if homosexuality is halal, if homosexuality was halal, then how could we regenerate? How could we rebirth? How could we continue giving birth and regenerating people? Because homosexuality means people having having their own affairs, or they're having an affair with the same gender, with the same sex as the person. So if homosexuality was right, then how could we regenerate? How could we reproduce? So one question is that if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created homosexuality, why will he still punish us for doing homosexuality, for being homosexual?
That's right. Yes.
I added some spices to your question.
Yes, you did.
Yes.
Yes, you did add spice to the to our communication, to the discussion that we're talking about. Therefore, these are the questions. Now, there might be in our communities, in our society, where some people might have these tendencies. So what should they think? How should they feel? Should they have despair? Should they lose hope in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Should they lose hope in the deen of Islam? What should they do? Are those individuals our brothers, our sisters in faith? Or should we excommunicate them from our communities? How should we answer this? These are very important questions, I believe, that as a community, as a society, as followers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that on the day of judgment, if we do get to encounter an individual like this, or we ourselves fall into this kind of mistake, how do we answer Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of judgment? Because every person has to answer for his own actions. And yes, Brother Jafar.
No, there was a butterfly here flying on my head. Sorry.
Oh, okay, it was a butterfly.
I'm in Africa.
So the question is this: how do we interact with these kind of situations? Now, as far as this is an illness. It can be biological, or it might not be biological. But there's many biological things. Sometimes we have the urge to steal. Sometimes we have the urge to, and let's bring it back a bit back. Let's forget homosexuality for example. Let's come to the point of normal heterosexual people. Aren't they also controlled? Their sexuality is also controlled. For example, you cannot look at a non-married. You cannot have sexual activity with a non-married. You have to make them your married. You cannot have, you cannot go after someone's wife, or a wife cannot go after someone, another man, if she's still if she's a wife at the moment, if she's under marriage. So they also have to control their temptations, their desires, and the same concept applies for those individuals as well. But those individuals say, well, okay, that's fine, but at least they have an outlet. They have a place where they can satisfy their desires. But we as individuals cannot at all. We cannot at all satisfy our desires because we don't have the desire for that individual. So what should we do? This is unfair for us. How should we escape this? So this is where the question is. So the question is, they say this is unfair on us because, okay, fine, agreed. Heterosexual people are also restrained in the deen of Islam, that they cannot they cannot do certain activities. But we also, those that are in the deen of Islam that are Muslims, but those that don't have those tendencies, what should we do? Well, according to my research, Brother Jafar, I think because we are running out of time, I will answer this in the next program, these questions. Why, according to our research, why someone becomes this or has this tendency, and how they can cure themselves, and how they can avoid this kind of thing. But I will touch on one thing. In the Quran, it says that you have exceeded all bounds. So there's a clue behind this. So someone who exceeds the limits is when he exceeds the limits, then does these kind of actions. So you must have broken a barrier. You must have crossed something that now you behave in this way or you desire this. So this is a clue which we will discuss, inshallah, further tomorrow in our program, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us a chance, that there's something's happened in your life that you went to an extreme. Now, for example, the people of Lut, they were not like this in the beginning. They were a normal, actually a very nice nation. As far as I read the hadith and about the people of Lut, they were so helpful that they would all be united to help one another. They had this brotherly love for one another. They were so compassionate that no one was in their community, no one was poor. Each one was helped after. It was a very ideal society that they lived in. And so Iblis, the Mal'un, got jealous of them. And the illness that he gave them, the ikhlaqi problem that he gave them was for being bakhil, being stingy.
Yes.
It was the stinginess that made them commit the acts of homosexuality. So the cause of their problem was being stingy. So Lut, because this didn't happen in one day. Lut didn't become homosexuals in one day. It was a gradual process. It was a gradual process that got to them to that stage, and then they got to a certain stage that they had to go through the punishment. That then the wrath of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala came on them. There was no other alternative left for them. And it's not as though Allah is punishing them. I don't want to say it in that sense. Every action has a reaction. For example, if you drink poison, do you think you will be cured by a poison? No. Poison will always have. Yes, Brother Jafar. You were saying. It seems like Brother Jafar got disconnected. But every poison has a reaction. Right context. So this reaction has to be understood. So if, for example, you are an evil person or you're a negative person, how can you expect positive energy to come towards you? Negativity only brings negativity. Positivity only brings positivity. Therefore, there are some actions that we do. For example, why is it that when we see a lot of people that are stealing money, you do see them gain something, but then they lose that gain as well very quickly. Easy come money, easy goes out that money. There's a saying about this: easy money is easily gained and easily lost. The same principle applies about any other action. Every bad action has a reaction. It's only Allah's blessing that is stopping those bad reactions coming to us. It's Allah's mercy that is stopping those things happening to us. But then sometimes we go to such an extreme that even Allah's mercy has its limits. And then we suffer the punishment, the calamity, the pain of our actions. Sometimes there are our brothers and sisters that say, oh, why are we being punished by Allah? Why is Allah so cruel? Why Allah is doing this? If Allah is such a merciful Allah, why is He inflicting such problems on us? Well, firstly, this dunya is the dunya of inflictions. In this dunya is not for pleasure and gain. Yes, of course, we cannot live only in hardship all the time, but we need to understand that this dunya is not our final destination. There's a purpose of us being in this dunya, and then we have to go to the land of pleasure and happiness and bliss. This, we should not make this dunya as the final and be all end all of our destination. And therefore, in this dunya, we will have happiness and sadness. We will have torment and pleasure. We will have fear and peace. We will go through all of these kinds of emotions in this dunya for the next dunya. And in the next dunya is where we depart from all the evils and go towards the goodness. But to go towards the goodness, we have to be good ourselves. Otherwise, heaven cannot be filled with people that are arrogant, pride, hateful, and all those kind of characteristics. That kind of characteristics has to be in a different place. And someone who is peaceful, honest, does not want to fight, is happy, is positive, has to be in a positive place. So we will continue our program, dear brothers and sisters, as there's only 1 minute left of the program. So I'll wrap up this program today. So the next topic is on this controversial issue. We will answer those questions that we have raised today, and inshallah you can join in on the program as well. You can give your call as well, and you can rate about your own scenarios, your own case studies, and we can